if I have to reload a revolver, things are really, really bad, and I need to get that round into that revolver as quickly as possible. And sometimes
Snubbies, pocket rockets, pocket blasters, pocket wheel guns, Saturday night special. Get the F off me gun. Love them or hate them, we all know the shape. Let's talk a little bit about how to get ammo back into them. We're going to revisit the Revolverfest October 2025 down in Clinton, South Carolina. This time we are going to be with Mr. Greg Ellifritz. We're going to walk onto the range with him where he is having a discussion about different methods of getting these things loaded back up. Let's stop listening to me and let's hear from Greg. Here we go. Well, would you look at that? Somebody's got fancy handwriting. And that's the thing, because we got some fancy revolvers. All right, we got Greg Ellifritz over here.
get paid well to do this, but anything else is kind of an afterthought. Nikki, hello, how are you?
You want some coffee, Greg?
I'm good. I can only drink one a day because otherwise I get, too spastic and my students don't like me, so. But they decided we're going to take care of the instructors. So the water drop off, we get lunch, everything's good. So I think they want us to teach again. So everybody good with the Bianchis? The Bianchis V-strips, they work great. Give them a couple years. If they start cracking and breaking, buy new ones. The Neo Mag is the one that attaches there. Everybody good with that? 5, 6, when we're talking 38, 5, 6, 7, 8, whatever. Is there advantages or disadvantages to any of those? Yes. Everybody else, who else has got? We got the Zeta 6s, we got the quick strips. Anybody got anything else other than that? Some DeSantis's? Nothing else other than that? So the quick strips ones, tough products, I like them the best. You can get them in all different kinds of calibers, even rifle calibers. You can get 12 gauge shotgun. Not real good. Good for carrying ammo, not for loading into the shotgun, depending on what you got. But I like them because you can get them in 5 shot all the way up to 10 shot for most of them. They work pretty well for that. A couple of things. When I run speed strips, I carry water ammo as defensive ammo in my snubs, okay, in my airweight snubs. Very few bullets expand. If you go to Chuck's class, I highly recommend sometime this weekend go to Chuck's class. Very few of these expand. These wad cutters, they generally hit to the sights, okay? They make a full-size caliber size hole, and they penetrate 13 to 15 inches. Well, your high-hour hollow points are not going to expand. They're going to penetrate 13 to 15 inches, and they're going to have a lot more recoil than this, and they may not hit to the sights. So in my J-frames, my little guns, this is what I run as a defensive ammo. However, I do not use these heat strips that I use. Why not?
Hard to do that. It's hard to
The sharp shoulder of this bullet makes it tough to go into the hole of the cylinder. If I have to reload a revolver, things are really, really bad, and I need to get that round into that revolver as quickly as possible. And sometimes with the wad cutters, it hangs up. It's a little bit sharper. I want a bullet with a rounder profile in my speed strips. If you talk to Chuck Haggard, who's done a lot of ballistic work with this, his reloads are round nose leads. That's what he carries defensively as reloads. He doesn't carry that in the revolver, but those are the fastest to get back in. If you're reloading a revolver, getting it reloaded fast is more important than having the ultimate magical bullet.
That's what you have in your speed.
Was that?
That's what you have.
Right. So these 158 grain, round nose leads, they do okay. Even the 130 grain ball, which is like what I've got. The 130 grain ball, both of these tend to hit pretty close to the sight. These things don't expand at all, but they do tend to yaw a little bit. So they think of it as tumbling, but not a full 360 degree tumble. So they kind of do this, And as they're doing this, going through the tissue, that makes a bigger hole. So this is not as horrible as you might think it is for man-stopping load. Out of these 2-inch barrels, very little stuff expands. When we start getting 3 and 4-inch barrels, or your gun there, that's a different story. But you know, out of the snubs, I run these defensively, but I will run a more rounded profile in my speed loaders and speed strips just to make it easier to reload.
Yeah.
Now, how do I set the speed strips up? There's a million different theories on how to do this. What most people do when they do it is load them full, because I've got 5 or 6 holes, I'm gonna put 5 or 6 bullets in. That's cool. The problem is it's harder to reload with it full, to reload a couple. You gotta really do it. If you create gaps in your strips, I find it's much easier to reload that way. So if I have a gap in the strip like this, or like mine like this, I can put a finger in there and it helps it peel it off, and it loads a lot easier. So I don't care how you make the gaps, but I think the gaps are the better way to go. So when I carry a strip, this is generally what I do. I will run an 8-round strip with 5 or 6 rounds in it. If I'm running a J-frame, I'll run 4s. Okay, if I have this, you know, people freak out. The OCD people freak out. I've got 5 cylinder holes and I've only got 4 bullets. If you have 4 rounds in your revolver, is it still loaded?
Mm.
If you do the math, and when you start playing with this stuff on the timer, you can get 4 in, like 2 by 2, really quickly. It takes an obscene amount of time in comparison to get that last one in. So I might be able to get these 4 loaded 2 and 2 in 5 seconds, let's say. To get that extra one, that takes me 7 or 8 seconds to get that last one in. So would you rather have 4 rounds in 5 seconds, or would you rather have 5 rounds in 7 or 8 seconds? I don't know. How much time do you have in your gunfight if I have to reload the revolver? But I'm okay with loading with 4 and shutting the cylinder and going to work with that, because I can get 4 way faster. So I like the gaps. I would just encourage you, when you're playing with these things, load them up different ways and play with them and see what works for you. There are a couple other theories with this. Michael de Betancourt likes to leave the last round open like this. Everybody see what I got here? So this is this, I could put another round in here, but Michael likes it because now it is not, I can orient it any way I grab it. I have a tab to hold on to. So it's essentially ambidextrous. No matter how I fish it out of my pocket, I've got a tab, something to hold on to. And I don't have to, I've got to switch it in my hand so that I can hold the tab to see it. So I think there's some merit to doing that. So I run my strips with gaps. I generally, if I can, I leave the last one open just so I have a little finger tab on either side to load with. And that's how I run mine. I would just, Michael de Betancourt said it best, if you've got a 5-shot gun and you've got 4 in there and this bothers you, carry another speed strip. If you've got time, I'll load it with 4. If I got time, I'd fish out another strip and put it in there. Otherwise, I shut the cylinder and I go to work. Don't hamper yourself by loading every single round and making it slow to go in when you can just carry another strip. Now, Michael's kind of a freak about this. He's thought about this a lot. If you know Michael, you understand this. But he carries a strip in each pocket. So 1 in each right and left front pocket, 1 in each right left back pocket. Because he can get to it with either hand in whatever positions he's in and get a strip. So he runs 4-shot strips, just like this, 1 in each corner pocket. And if he needs to load more, fish out another strip. So, schools of thought with regard to that. Did I steal yours? What about the Zeta 6s? Claude Warner loves these, and Claude's a very smart guy. And I would never say he's wrong. But he's wrong. I hate them. I actually hate these. I've played with them a lot. I don't like them. A lot of people do. If you like them and it works for you, I don't have any problem with these. They're a well-made stuff. It's a good idea. I find that these kind of things are as slow as speed strips and as bulky as speed loaders. It's like the worst of both. You know, we carry speed loaders because they're fast. We carry speed strips because they're easy to carry. Well, when I do this, I've got the worst of both. I've got the same bulk of a speed loader, but it's as slow as a speed strip. So they don't work for me. They're not my thing. I don't use them. I've tried them a bunch. A lot of people really like them. If you like them, I'm not going to talk bad about you. Well, maybe I'll talk bad a little bit about you, but not too bad. I'm not being serious. Yeah, if you like them, play with them. If you like them,
those are great though for your glove box or something like that.
Okay.
Because
you're not trying to conceal
they don't
it.
pop like a speed loader does.
Good point. That's a very good point.
But
Yeah.
if you're not worried about the bulk,
That's a good point. Yeah. Absolutely right. Yeah. So these things are fine. DeSantis now makes them without any tabs on either end. You know, and some people don't like the tabs just for bulk. I like the tab. I tend to, when I reload, because I use gaps, I don't use the tab when I reload. I tend to put my fingers in the gaps to reload when I do it. But DeSantis makes them without the tabs. Anybody have older tough products that are really hard, and so some of the older tough products, when you keep them loaded, the rounds would separate a little bit like that. Buy new ones. They reformulated the plastic about 2 years ago, maybe a little bit longer there. They reformulated the plastic, and they don't gap like this. Because when they gap like this over time, those two rounds don't line up with your cylinder holes anymore, and that's no good. So the tough products are completely new. Everybody see what that, look at those last two rounds. That's what tends to happen with the older tough products. You know, it's the end ones that tend to do it. You try to stick those two in and it's not going to go in smoothly. You can see these are gapped correctly and those are not. And, you know, yep, you got one of the older ones and they just do that. And some of them it's even worse. Some of them it'll be, you know, something like that. So with those, just buy new tough strips. They're cheap.
Pro tip: if you call them and you
Tell
talk
them
real nice
that.
to them,
Yeah.
they'll send you
Yes.
replacements.
Oh,
for
really?
They will.
They will.
Ask for Nancy. She'll
Yep,
take care of you.
exactly right.
Nancy Stevens will take care of you and she'll get you new ones. Just tell them it's gapped at the end and they'll get you new ones.
One other thing, don't buy them off of Amazon. Amazon are fake. And Nancy told me, because I got some, they broke, and I said, I got these. She says, send me the packaging, send me the stuff. That's not our product. And
This is the company that's making the fake ones on Amazon. So they will advertise them as, it looks like Adderall. It's ADDREAL. These, I'll pass these around. These are really soft and the rounds fall out in your pocket. And so my guess is that same company is doing the fake ones that are the fake tough products. So these, I bought these because it was like 10 of them for $6. And I was like, well, if my students show up in class without speed strips, I can just hand these things out. I worked one class and they were pulling them out of their pockets and all the rounds were falling out. They're junk. They're junk. Don't buy the Adderall ones.
perfect examples for class.
Yeah, don't buy Adderall. Don't buy Adderall. You know. If anybody wants to try any of the Neomag, I got a couple extra clips in there. But anybody got any? Yeah, they are cheap.
They're worth it.
They're nice. So, anybody got any other questions on speed strips? Nothing? Okay. Well, I would encourage you, we're going to do some drills with the speed strips. I would encourage you to play with it. Try them fully loaded, try them with a gap, try them with, you know, with the end left open for a little tab. Play with them and see what works smoothest for you. We'll give you a chance to roll with these and see how it goes. Nothing else? Everybody got 3 strips worth of bullets?
Well, who would have thought that there are so many nuances to getting these things reloaded? Mr. Ellifritz has put in a ton of time, energy, and resources to learning all of that information. I'm going to put some links in the description so that you can find Greg, who puts out a great newsletter full of information. You can also look for opportunities to go train with him. And then, of course, I will link American Fighting Revolver, the hosts of this event. Hope that you guys enjoyed it. Be well. Don't be dickheads. Tell somebody you love them. Have the tools and equipment that you need to save your life. Know how to use it. Train with it like your life and your loved ones' lives depend on it. You know what? Check out Ignis Lux Coffee. You deserve some damn fine coffee. Be well.